Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. My goodness, I just realized it's a Wednesday. My god, it's a Wednesday. Wow, Hansi Flick pretty much confirms that Thiago wants his Bayern Munich exit. Thiago wants to join Liverpool. Actually, no, he didn't say any particular club. He says Thiago wants to leave, and that's pretty much his decision, and I think that's an interesting outlook. We always knew Thiago wanted to leave. We always knew that, but the interesting thing was, will Liverpool pay the money for him, or will they be broke? And that was the question. And they still look like they don't want to pay the asking price. The asking price would be 30 million euros, no add-ons, no magical clauses if he wins the Ballon d'Or, no magical clauses if he wins the Golden Boot or gets the assist record for the Premier League. No, none of that. Just 30 million up front. That's what Bayern are looking for. Maybe to reinvest into the squad, but I don't think we were ever going to need money to reinvest anyways. We needed to reinvest. So that's what Hansi Flick is pretty much saying, that Thiago's decision to leave is very imminent, and that's very interesting. So if Liverpool don't pay the money, I think what Bayern told Thiago is this: hey, Thiago, we love you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a 30 million asking price on you because look, 30 million is very cheap for Thiago. In a normal transfer window, 30 million gets you who's a crap player? Just anyone crap. I mean, look at Leeds United getting Rodrigo from Valencia, and a 29-year-old player, 30 million they paid for him, and you're paying 30 million for Thiago. Timo Werner is not this, Werner's influence at Leipzig is not the same as Thiago's influence at Bayern. They're not the same level of degree of player. Werner is a level below world class. Thiago is world class. And Werner went for 50-something million. And Thiago could be going for 30 million. You see what I'm trying to say here? It's a very cheap price. Except Werner was a lot younger than Thiago. But look, it's not about age, it's about quality, okay? Thiago is aging well. And that's what I like to see. So for me, it looks like 30 million is that price. And if Liverpool aren't paying that, I don't get it. That's really weird to me. How are you not paying 30 million for Thiago? I don't understand that. I never thought weakness is contract extension. Yep, he's very crap at extending his contracts. Never extends them at the right time. But yeah, seriously though, I think it's really, really... You know what, speaking of this contracting, why didn't we extend Thiago's contract before? I remember reading a lot of articles saying Bayern's board wanted Thiago to prove himself in the bigger games, because there was always this misconception and criticism from just the media that Thiago never did it in the big games, which he did do. Bayern's board wanted Thiago to prove himself on the big stage in order to give him a new contract. At that time, Thiago was working towards a new contract. He was trying to prove himself as to why he should stay at Bayern. It was literally the case. And then now it's like we're trying to get him to sign again. It's really complicated. That's just how this world works. Sometimes you want certain things to happen. There is no chance that Bayern will keep him like he renews now. But this could change in 3 weeks. Liverpool could decide we don't want to pay 30 million on a 29-year-old player who doesn't fit our money ball system. They could say, nope. Liverpool pulled out a Naby Fekir's deal because he picked up a little injury. That's what happens. They pull out of deals very quickly. They say, nope, we'll find someone else. And I bet you they have 50 replacements lined up. Liverpool could pretty much sign Houssem Ouaha if they're looking for someone that can control the tempo from deep and help them play out of the back and be really creative. They could sign someone like that. But they want Thiago for the experience. But they could easily pull out if they don't want to pay the money. And I think Liverpool don't want to pay the money. They absolutely don't. Bayern would have told Thiago, hey, you have a year's contract here. Your contract expires next year. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. We're only going to demand 30 million. Because Thiago would know he's worth like 50 million. Hazard went to Real Madrid, 28 years old, for 100 million or something like that. A ludicrous transfer fee. He went there to Real Madrid. Why can't Thiago cost a similar amount? Thiago is just as world-class as Hazard, if not better in my opinion. Thiago does his job much better than Hazard did. In my opinion, Thiago is amazing, just as good as Hazard was, and Hazard cost Real Madrid 100 million. So Thiago has to, cost at least 50 million in a normal transfer window. Thiago would know his worth, and then the Corona, and Bayern are probably like, okay, if you want to leave, we're not going to stand in your way like, stay, because, we don't need you like that. we're not begging. You should be begging to stay here. And that was the case before he wanted to leave. Every player needs to prove themselves to be at Bayern Munich. And then I guess what happened is that Thiago said, okay, good, I'll leave for 30 million if Liverpool pay it. And Liverpool are now like, we don't want to pay 30 million. We want to reduce it. And Bayern are like, no, this is our asking price. This isn't one of those things that you can negotiate. Because we don't care if we lose Thiago for free. I don't think any of us care. It's not like we're losing money. No money's coming out of my pocket to fund Thiago's contract or to fund his resale value. I'm not doing that. So if we lose Thiago next year for free, I welcome that actually. So, it's better if Liverpool pay 30 million now so we can quickly get through this and find a deal and find solutions, find different players that we need. It's quicker that way. It's better that way. But if Liverpool aren't going to pay money for him, Thiago stays for an extra year. Apparently Manchester United are now in that equation. I don't know why. That's probably not a sensible transfer for them. They need a life worth, they need like a 10-year-old a 10 years worth of a CDM. They don't need Thiago. So, and even then, why would Thiago go to United from Bayern? That's the biggest downgrade in football history. Absolutely crap downgrade. Why would you leave Bayern Munich to go to Man United? In this current climate where we're actually champions of Europe, at least Liverpool have a little bit of pedigree about them. They're slowly starting to slow down like Klopp always does this. He always has this, he did it at Dortmund, where 2 years, everything is top. Liverpool are flying. Not Liverpool, Dortmund are flying. And then the balloon just, blah. That's what happens with Klopp teams. I'm hoping it happens again. It'd be amazing to watch Liverpool lose games. I'm playing. We really don't need Thiago, to be honest. Kimmich and Goretzka in midfield. Move Alaba back to his right back spot. Well, luckily for us, Alaba doesn't play as a left back, a right back. He's coming to Chelsea, just like Kai. Well, Kai wasn't a Bayern player. Kai Havertz is a player that we all wanted, right? He's a good player. I wanted João Felix, and then I wanted Kai. I move on pretty quickly. It's not like Kai Havertz is God. We won the Champions League. Who cares? Unai Hoeneß said something that I completely agree with. He said that nowadays there seems to be champions and then champions of the transfers. And that's what Chelsea are. You're champions of transfers. And here's your trophy. Oh, nothing. You're not lifting anything. Buying players for 80 million. Most expensive goalkeeper of all time. Spend all the money you want. But, I don't think... If you don't win the Premier League in the next 2 years, that's going to be a failure. And that's it. That's what Unai Hoeneß meant when he said... There seems to be a champion nowadays and then champions of transfers. Liverpool fans want their club to spend money so bad, yet they're still champions of the Premier League because money doesn't really buy you consistency. Money doesn't buy these things. You can spend as much money as you want. You can buy the next goalkeeper, the next this. You can buy all these stars. But that's not really what wins you the titles. What wins you the titles is in the actual season, in the games you need to win. Are you winning those games? Do you have the manager to be winning those games? Do you have the system? Do you have a philosophy? Chelsea are buying players that don't really fit together. Kai Havertz and Ziyech. Ziyech is just an older version of a Kai Havertz. Like, they're very similar. And it's very confusing to me because I'm like, well, unless you want Ziyech to be the backup to Kai Havertz, it doesn't make sense. They're just buying players just because they're stars and they can get them. And no one else can get him because of the financial crisis in the world. And that's just so simple for them. And that's what Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, not Karl-Heinz, Unai Hoeneß meant when he said that. He said specifically that there are champions and then there are champions of transfers. And that's what it means for me. I feel bad for Götze. I don't feel bad for Götze. Why would I feel bad for Mario Götze? I feel bad for... he's playing at Dortmund. He's making his money. Oh, actually, his contract expires. Left-footed player as right back. Wouldn't mind that, we get a lot of right-footed left backs. That's mainly because there are more right-footed players allocated to the world than there are left-footed players. Yeah, I know. See, look, I'm so excited for this transfer window because it's a little bit weird. It's weird. The season starts on the 18th, right? That's Bayern's first game. So in about 16 days, I can't wait to get back to that. I'm tired of transfers. Can't wait to do match previews and doing combined starting 11s, predictions, Hansi Flick press conference. I can't wait for all that. That's more exciting to me than transfers. Also, the Champions League will start back up very soon too, I think. The draw's happening, I think, in the next 3 weeks. So there's so many things that are jammed in. Next season, it's going to be big. There's going to be games pretty much every 3 days, 4 days. We're going to see a lot of action. International. Sané's playing tomorrow with Niklas Süle in the German team versus Spain. Spain, god damn it. We're welcoming Thiago back to Germany. I thought we gave him a ban. Well, I mean, yeah, I can't wait. I'll be watching, Germany versus Spain tomorrow. I can't wait for that, man. Oh, crap, I'll be in class. Who cares? I'm just going to watch it while I'm in class. I got 2 monitors. Class can be on this side and Germany versus Spain on this side. It's the Nations League. I thought it was the Euro qualifiers. Did they already play the Euro qualifier? I think they did. Yeah, they play them 2 years in advance. Well, it's going to be interesting. They played the German national team games at the Allianz? Yes, I knew that because the colors change. Okay, right. Madrid always find a way to beat Bayern, no matter if it's through VAR. That's true. I'm Spanish and German. That's pretty cool. Gutsa was the big thing and never happened. You know what? Someone brought up an interesting point. All our big signings over 40 million don't seem to work. And, that's not really a discouragement to never sign players over 40 million. It's just maybe our management and the types of players we signed for over 40 million. Was Lucas Hernandez the best center back in the world when we paid 80 plus million for him? 70 million? No, Lucas was not the best center back in the world. He was a promise. I don't even know why we paid 70 million. He was worth, to me, maybe 40 million, Lucas Hernandez. He was not worth 70 million. He's still not worth 70 million now. And you're paying 70 million for a center back. We could have bought Matthijs de Ligt for that same price. Yes, de Ligt is probably a more complete center back. Yes, and you could have bought Upamecano for a much, much, much cheaper price. That's just my thoughts. I just think that we bought, Lucas was a release clause, and that makes it even worse because that was a stable price. We didn't even try to negotiate it down. We just paid it. De Ligt has been amazing for Juventus Rehad. I don't know where you've been watching. He's been absolutely superb for them, being their best defender. People watched him make like 2 errors, and they automatically made this assumption that he's been crap. First of all, he's scoring goals like he's a striker. More non-penalty goals than Ciro Immobile. You hate to see it. He's absolutely doing it. And I think, yeah, I mean, he had a nice little injury, but cost Juventus a lot of money, not us, right? And that's it. He's a very good. This kid is going to be a future center back, and people slowly. That's what happens. That's what you want as a young player. You want people to slowly forget about you so that you can work behind the scenes, and that's what De Ligt has been doing. Just been working behind the scenes. People think he's been crap, but he's been actually having a very good season. But we spend so much money on the wrong types of players. When you're spending 40 million, was Tolisso the best up-and-coming CD? This is what I mean. We never buy players like, the profile I want. We always buy the level below the next best thing. And that's a little bit of a problem because we're going to spend 40 million on Tolisso. Tolisso wasn't this hype, like, oh my goodness, new best midfielder in the world. You know what I mean? And then yes, he had the future. He had a big future ahead of him, Tolisso. But then you're spending that much money on him. I could think of players that now you could have spent money on. You could have spent money. You could have bought someone that just was already at a similar level, and that's what we need to do sometimes. I think Unai everyone knows it. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge himself said it. We need 3 stars at Bayern every year. And that's true. You can't keep buying players. It's almost like we're buying, players for 70, 30, 40 million to mold them into something. When you could buy an Upamecano that just solves a problem and is already at that level, but you're spending a little bit more money. You get what I'm trying to say? So sometimes we need to stop this whole, you have to buy players, for 40 million. But no one really, I don't know. It's just what I think. Do you think Liverpool aren't actually interested in Thiago? As they always do their transfers quickly. If not Liverpool, where should he really go? Well, I hope he stays, but I don't know. I think Liverpool is very interested in Thiago. Maybe Klopp. Klopp is maybe the one that really wants Thiago. Klopp is really maybe the one that says, I really want Thiago. That's probably what I see. Klopp is probably the one. But then maybe it's Liverpool's board who are saying, hey, I don't know. I don't know about him. And maybe Liverpool's board are, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the issue right now. Liverpool's board don't want to spend 30 million on Thiago, but Jurgen Klopp would really like Thiago. I think that's it. That's the issue. Klopp wants him. Thiago wants to go to Liverpool and end his career. And it's normal. It's not abnormal that a player leaves Bayern at 29, 30. Schweinsteiger did it at 31 to Man United. That's fine. Players do that all the time. It's fine. You don't have to stay at Bayern for the rest of your career. Thiago's still a Bayern legend for me. What he did on the pitch is magical. Not many players came close to his level of ability and completeness. He's a Bayern legend. He can go. I bet you he'll be back if he's doing his coaching badges. He'll be back coaching Bayern. He'll be back at the club frequently. When he retires, he'll be watching Allianz Arena games. He'll be wearing that little red jacket, the honorary jacket. He'll be doing that because that's what happens. Wijnaldum to Barcelona. That's probably the dumbest. So if Wijnaldum goes to Barcelona for the 18 million they're saying, you're telling me Barcelona would have funded Thiago to Liverpool. That stupid club. No, we don't need Paulinho from Leipzig. We have the best attacking midfielder in the world in Thomas Müller. Why would we need anyone else? Muller's broken. I mean, look, Hansi Flick literally, I guess a story from Bild, Christian Falk, said the only reason Hansi Flick liked Kai Havertz, but there was no place in him in the squad. And that's a really sad thing to think about. Not that it's sad that Thomas Müller is doing well, but the fact that we couldn't, that's what happened, right? The story said Hansi Flick really wanted or liked Kai Havertz. But, but what was he going to play? What was Kai Havertz going to play? That's literally the transfer. That's kind of crazy. Who gets into this team? No one really, right? This is where it gets so hard to strengthen because you're already at this magical level. The next thing you need to do is to make sure that you keep yourself at that magical level. And for me, that needs us getting a backup left back, an attacking midfielder who can play as a winger, like a Dominic Szoboszlai, but he's going to stay at Salzburg for an extra year, probably move next year. If Boateng leaves and Javi Martinez leaves, who both play center back, I would like a backup center back. I still want another center back. Alaba, Lucas Hernandez, Niklas Süle, Tanguy Kawasi, that's 4 center backs right there. But assuming we're Bayern Munich, Lucas Hernandez will be out for at least 30% of the season. Niklas Süle might get an injury, but hopefully he doesn't. But he could be I don't know. You still need so much more depth, considering the amount of games we play. If you have 4 center backs, actually that's a lot. Well, Boateng's gonna leave next year. I think we'll sign Upamecano next year. That's the goal. And who wouldn't want Upamecano? Is Tonali yes, Tonali's going to Inter Milan. It's pretty much factual. Would have loved him, but he's not it. Do you think we will see more jersey number swaps? I think. Coman number 11. Not sure about that because Cousins has the number 11. I don't know why he has the number. Why? Javi Martinez has the number 8. He's a CDM and a center back. It's so weird to see. Hopefully, Goretzka can get that number 8. I need him to. I do think Kimmich will get the number 6 if Thiago leaves. Yeah, we're just seeing it. We're just hoping to see something wonderful. So, Tapsoba and Upa best young center backs. Tapsoba's good, but Upamecano is at a new level. You know what's funny? Upamecano isn't even Leipzig's best center back. That would be Ibrahima Konate, their best natural defender. But the reason I think Hansi Flick won Upamecano, I can pull up the stats on my phone now. The only player that's close to Alaba in terms of ball progression, passes into the final third, progressive runs per 90 is Upamecano. Harry Maguire's in there, but that's because he gets the ball, runs a few yards, and passes it sideways. Upamecano's line-breaking passes, if you watch him versus Atletico, he was one of the reasons they won that game. Because he would get the ball, and he would... Atletico don't like players driving at their midfield. They hate it. Atletico hate it. That's why Real Madrid beat Atletico. Because they just have players that just power through their midfield. Atletico hate players or teams playing centrally. They want you to go out wide, but then they can't defend crosses, so it's really weird. They want you to lose the ball in the center, and then they can counter you quickly. Atletico love that. They beat Liverpool doing exactly that, making Liverpool lose the ball on the edge of the center, and then they just bump forward, and that's it. But Upamecano would just take the ball, drive it. Lucas Hernandez can't do that yet. I don't think he can. So, considering, this guy, Upamecano, he's definitely... The build he has is something that we would love to see at Bayern. He's only 21. Konate is... He could definitely... His injuries have really stopped him, but he pocketed Lewandowski twice. I don't know. I want that type of center back, though. Someone that just plays ball in their own element. Him and Nicolas Jula, or him and Lucas Hernandez. People think just because you get more depth, it means that's not how depth works. One of our biggest issues was our high line. Upamecano solves that. Plus, he adds Alaba's lack of, defensive, just stature. Alaba's good at reading the game, intelligence-wise, but he's not a natural center back. You can tell he's reluctant. He won't get in front of the defender and block he won't do that. He'll just put out fires before they start. And I think, I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind an Upamecano. I wouldn't mind that. You need that. Brozovic liked the post. I'm not gonna lie. I think the more I think about it, Brozovic, what if he costs us maybe 40 million? That's probably the dumbest transfer I've ever heard. Brozovic for 40 million when you could get younger players that are probably better and have a higher ceiling and closer to you could get Fabian Ruiz for maybe 40 million. You could try it. I'm sure Napoli need to sell players in order to fund their transfers. They bought this guy for this, what's his name, this striker, this Nigerian striker, very good striker, for like 80 million or something like that. They need to sell some players. So, and it's a pandemic. You could take advantage of this. I don't know why Bayern didn't do it. We wanted Upamecano. We know for a fact Flick wanted him, and I can see why. If you watch how Upamecano plays the center back position, he's a high line type of defender, right? He has the recovery pace. He did very well against Mbappe and Neymar. I think they were trying to avoid him because every time Mbappe got the ball, he never really went close to Upamecano because he's that type of defender. He's very agile. He doesn't really get turned. You won't find yourself dribbling past Upamecano and nutmegging him. That's not really what happens with him as a defender. But yeah, what team do you think is stronger, treble 2013 or treble 2020? I think this 2020 team is strong. I mean, we've broken every single record, apart from the goal scoring record, which is 44 goals, and we got 42 goals in our campaign. This team is special. I think the amount of goals we scored, Barcelona, we've literally changed the fates of history. Messi was never going to leave Barcelona. All of a sudden, he was going to leave Barcelona. I think that's the issue. That's where we're at. So, in my opinion, I think for me, we just, this 2020 team has been, it's kind of weird because all our teams have been good. All of them. The 2012 team was special in its own way because at the time, we destroyed tiki-taka. Tiki-taka was the thing you had to do. And we destroyed tiki-taka. And then you move on. And then 2020, you have teams that still play this. We destroyed it with physicality and pressing, intensity. And this team for me is just special. We have more, we have players that just make people scared. And we have a team just the same way we did. We faced stronger teams in 2013. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. We face stronger teams in both years. I mean, who's better, Muller or Gerd Muller? I think Muller is definitely better than Muller. 40 million for Brozovic, great deal. He can play anywhere in the field and is literally no, 40 million is a terrible deal. Maybe like 20 million. I'm serious. Do we need another? I'd rather just not get a CDM then, because if you're spending 40 million on Brozovic, you're getting a good 3 years. I mean, that's a little bit depressing. Brozovic. No, that sounds so bad. But for me, it's just the way I see it. I want Bayern to get the best possible player that could turn into something great. And for their position, we don't need Brozovic. We don't need his type of experience. He's not really he plays in Serie A. So if you're a CDM in Serie A, you don't need pace. You don't need but it's a Bundesliga. It's the fastest league in the world when it comes to one-on-one. The dribbling is faster. Everything is faster. The pressing is faster. The Bundesliga is a very fast league. The only league that could come close to it in terms of just raw pace is the Premier League. But look, the fastest players were Hakimi. I think maybe 6 out of the 10 players, the fastest in the world, were all Bundesliga players. So you get a situation where, I don't know, Brozovic is definitely. Cousins is another one that can turn better. But I don't really need to put all this pressure on him. Well, see, that's where I don't want us to go to. Oh, but we have Cousins. That's why we don't need to buy a replacement for Thiago. We can't do that. That's not how champions do. We can't do that. We can't say, oh well, this player's leaving. Well, we have this player that can. What if Cousins won't? And then you waste all this time thinking he would have, and that's just something we don't want to hit. We don't want to hit this type of roadblock. Of course, we all want Cousins to be incredible, but we also have to realize that not every single player will be incredible. Leave a like on the video. We need to reach 40 likes. I appreciate each and every single person that's tuning in today. We got a lot of money from winning the Champions League. What about Thomas Partey? No, absolutely. We don't need that type of midfielder, that powerful. We don't really need that. I don't really care. We have Goretzka who can do the power thing. Partey is. This is why we have to be careful. Players have to fit our system. They have to. That's why I'd get someone from Ajax if we wanted. I'd get a Van de Beek if Thomas Muller was crap and we needed a direct replacement that was similar. I'd get Van de Beek because Ajax play a similar style to us. They play a 4-2-3-1. Van de Beek would know what it's like. Partey plays at Atletico 4-4-2, defensive as hell. So I just want players that would fit our system. So for me, there's no Partey, no. Why don't we sign Kroos for cheap? Why couldn't Kroos stay here and not want a big wage? Bayern, how about Bentancur to Bayern would fit system, right? I don't know much about him. I don't watch Italian Footy that much, right? Footy. I don't watch that much of Italian. It's very slow to me, Anyone ever listen to Italian music? It's very, it's like Greek music, but just a little bit faster. I just think Italian football reflects how slow it is there. I don't like it. I wish I could watch it. I just don't. Then I'd just be hearing monkey chants for 90 minutes. Why don't Bayern sign Ryan Cherki? Look at the amount of players you all know. I couldn't even sit here and think about 10 wingers. I could just play FIFA. 10 wingers we could sign. We could sign a lot of people. I stopped playing FIFA and I really don't care anymore about FIFA. I'm sure a lot of you are getting the new one. You know what? Who wants my Xbox? I'll send it. I'm joking. Someone's going to be like, wow, you didn't send me the Xbox. I wanted a giveaway. No, I didn't. I wasn't going to send you it anyways. Yeah, I have an Xbox, but it's not even plugged in. I haven't turned it on in maybe 6 months now. Whew. Did some intense leg exercises yesterday, man. Ooh, everything hurts. It hurts sitting down. Ah, Ryan Cherky will go to Real Madrid. Really? Is that true? I mean, who's that guy at Fiorentina? Chesa. Yeah, Chesa's a decent winger. And then again, he plays in Serie A. I don't think Serie A players really light up the Bundesliga that much. I don't know. It's almost, I don't know. Some leagues just don't work with each other. I think, if you go to Italy and you go to Spain, that always seems to work. Zidane, and he worked there, and R9 going there. It always works, but I don't think it works like how I envision it, because the Italian league is so much slower, much more, reserved. Teams don't want to concede goals. They don't press high. Atalanta were so overhyped in this Champions League thing because they were the only Italian team pressing, right, that were playing front foot. So they looked very good on paper. But then PSG pressed too, right? PSG knew how to get past pressure. So then, they lost and they conceded a lot of shots, and PSG ended up scoring and deserved to win the game. Now I can say that. Now I can say PSG deserved to beat Atalanta. PSG deserved to beat Leipzig because we ultimately won the Champagne League. We won the Champagne. Pop that. Wow. We won the Champions League. That's amazing. That's amazing. You know what? Every single day I go on Transfermarkt and I click on Bayern Munich and I just look at our trophies, and it's 3 plus 3 and then 30. It's amazing. We won the Champagne League. Who do you want realistically this summer? Well, if I was director of football for Bayern, Des is not too expensive. No Upamecano. Yes, Upamecano. I don't know a single person that wouldn't want Upamecano. He's literally the perfect package for Hansi Flick's system. You even think about it. I think Hansi even said it himself. I don't even think Lucas Hernandez, every time he comes on, he's a left back. And he got maybe 2 assists from that position. Every time Lucas plays, he comes on for Davies. I don't know. He never really. I don't know, man. Alaba and Upamecano are not playing. They're similar players. See, this is what I meant when I said our system. I don't think Lucas is good. And now that I'm thinking about it, every time Lucas came on, he would just play left back. Alaba would always be a center back. I think that's interesting. And Zula and Upamecano don't have anything to do with each other. They won't be playing in the same position. Upamecano would be playing on the left side and Zula would be playing on the right side, because that's how it would work. And yeah, it'd be a mixed partnership. We're not getting Tapsoba. He's crap. Not crap. He's just really small. He's not my type of center back. But well, there was a point where I was hyping him a lot, and I thought he was the next best thing, but then he wasn't. Where's the next Alphonso Davies? Well, this one passed. I didn't know Davies died, but yeah, for me, I just I think it's really interesting what you look at when you look at the types of players Flick is wanting us to buy. Sergino Dest, Max Aarons, Upamecano. Flick wanted Upamecano. I love when people say trust Hansi Flick, but never when it comes to his transfers. And if we buy Upamecano, I think it would be such a good transfer that it would be unbelievable. I don't think Lucas works for me as a center back yet in Bayern's system. Reason I'm saying that is his ball progression. Alaba is literally the top center back in Europe when it comes to progressive passes into the final third, progressive passes into the midfield, progressive runs per 90 minutes, and the only other player that comes close to that is Upamecano. That's kind of crazy to me. So I think when you're looking at the profile that Upamecano would bring at Bayern, he brings the defensive astuteness that Alaba won't have, but then the ball progression as well. And I think that's the reason why Bayern would want him. Look how he progressed the ball against Atletico. That's an interesting game. And yeah, Alaba is not the best center back in the world. No discuss. He's not, but he is one of the best. I wouldn't say he's the best flat out. I mean, you can make a case for it. Yeah, but Julian Brandt can replace no. He's like 25. Muller could be Muller's better than Brandt now, and Muller's 30. So you think about his progression. Muller will only get better from. By the way, leave a like. Let's get to 50 likes on the video. Guys, you guys just have some weird fantasies about players you want. You know, it's so crazy. You guys just you bring up some weird names. I've never heard of them. You know, someone brought up some Ukrainian guy. I never heard of him. How would I know him? You bring up some weird people, man. Just bring me people I know. Bring me some Bundesliga players. You know? People that are realistic for us to sign. The reason I keep mentioning Upamecano is because Flick wanted him. We know for sure Hansi Flick wanted Upa. And that's not something that I'm just guessing. He did. Haustenberg. You want us to be in the Europa League? Haustenberg. Marcel Haustenberg. He's not even the best Marcel at Leipzig, and you want us to sign him? He can't even get in Bayern's under 10. Yeah. Well, someone I know. Okay, well, you're just telling me random players I know. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You just need players. You need players. I mean, if Thiago, this is why sometimes this Bayern board weirds me out. Because at one hand, everyone thinks we're so well run. On the other hand, we're frustrating. You know, I bet it's funny because Real Madrid fans are also frustrated. We're never gonna be happy, are we, with Bayern's board? What I need us to have, what Hansi Flick needs to get. If Hansi Flick wants a player, he should get that player. That's what I think. If Flick wants Upamecano, which we know he did, he should get Upamecano. And we knew personal terms were agreed. Tanguy Kouassi came in, which he's a test trial because he's a project. He could turn into the best center back in the world in 2-3 years. One of the best, right? He can turn into that, type of guy, that type of influence. But he's not there yet, He needs time. He's going to get his time. And I think if Boateng's leaving, Boateng is a starter now. I just think all over the place we have some amazing issues. And that's great. We have great issues in defense. Except we need a backup right back. No one wants to see Kimmich just... I don't want to see our team move. I don't want to see one game we're playing... the Kimmich midfield, Goretzka, and then the next game we have to move Kimmich to right back and move someone up. I don't want to see that. I want to see players that want to play at right back, play at right back. I want to see players that want to play a left back, play a left back. Give us Lucas Hernandez. We need a left center back. Or pay us 100 million. I mean, look, I want Lucas to succeed so bad. But Hansi Flick said it himself. He isn't really tactically astute in the system yet, and it's very hard to turn into Alaba. It's very hard. You need time. You need understanding. Lucas Hernandez is going to develop that, and for me, he can be one of the best center backs in the world. But he needs to put his head down, eat right, do everything correctly. Give us Mason Greenwood. We'll give you. We'll give you Hernandez, not Rashford. Why would we want Marcus? Rashford's literally crap. Give us Greenwood. Mason Greenwood. That kid is special. Yeah, he could be really, really good. He could be good. We need that. I think it's the end of the show today. So Thiago, Flick pretty much confirming that Thiago wants to leave in his own words. Now it's just up to Liverpool to pay the money, and then we can move on. Lingard for Sane, Lewandowski, no. Havertz signed to Chelsea, just not announced yet. I take it, Lucas Greenwood swap. Yeah, I'd take anything right now. Just as long as we get some new players. It's good for the dopamine. You get a new player, you get a nice little dopamine rush. That's really what we need new players for. Do we really need to make new signings? Yes. But it's really just a dopamine of watching the compilations and going, oh, he's so good. That's really why we do it. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Yeah. Mia san mia in peace. Leave a like on the video. Yeah, cool. No one ever does.